Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Knatters Knits podcast. My name's Natalie, I'm going to be your host for today. It's Sunday, November the 15th, 2015, and as you can probably see by the window outside, it's bleh. I think that's going to be the title, bleh. It's cold, it's windy, there's no leaves on the trees anymore thanks to the wind, and generally it's just a grotty Sunday. All the better for tidying up your craft room, which is what I've done, which is why I'm late recording today. I decided that when my room looked like an episode of Hoarders, and if any of you've seen that TV programme you'll know what I'm on about, then it was time to make a change. So I've spent the best part of the last 4 hours tidying, cleaning, trying to make some sort of sense of this room that is my craft room. It's not a very big room, as I'll show you in a second, but when you can't actually get in, then you've got something wrong. So I've had a bit of a clear out and declutter. Got about 3 or 4 bags full of rubbish, just tidied up a bit more, made a bit more sense of everything. And as you can probably see by the fact that I'm looking at you from a different angle, I've moved. I decided, because I had a table over here, and because it made sense rather than keep kicking the camera all the time and you having a wobbly scene, I would actually move things. So I'm now sat on the other side of the room, which is all of 2 feet away from where I was before, but hopefully the lighting's a bit better. Maybe you'll see that, maybe you won't. So for those of you who are new, it won't make any difference what the lighting's like, but for those of you who have come back and seen me once more, yes, hopefully you'll think that the lighting is a bit better than it was. So without more ado, because this is a knitting and eventually it's going to become stitching podcast, I think, as well, as I'll explain a little bit later on. Let's get on to the things that I've been up to this week. Well, from a work point of view, it's been busy as usual. The only person in the nursing home to do admin, so therefore, you know, it's busy. But it's been an enjoyable week. We've had some good fun. A couple of the old ladies have absolutely tickled me, some of the things they've come out with. No, it's been a good week really from that point of view. But because of that, I've been tired when I've come home. On Tuesday, I nipped out to buy one of them some clothes during work time, and I also had to get a few things for the activities coordinator, who was they're in the middle of getting things ready for a Christmas craft fair. So she wanted to pick a few little bits and pieces up from Hobbycraft. Big mistake, because I was stood in line waiting to pay for the few little things I'd got, and I succumbed. I'll just turn you around and you can see why I succumbed. A brand new sewing machine. Yeah. Whoops. Sorry about the camera movement there. It's lovely. It's a new pet. You can't see me sort of stroking it, but I am. So that's that. It was on offer. It was £69, and as my previous sewing machine is lying in pieces on the floor over there, and I've got no hope of repairing it, and it would probably cost me just as much to have it repaired, I decided to buy a new one. It doesn't seem to be a bad little runner. It can do about 14-15 stitches, can go backwards and forwards, there's a zipper foot. What more could I want, really? And the reason I bought it is first finished item. Ta-da! Do you remember? Sorry, bit of fluff on there. Do you remember I told you about the? Move it back a bit. It's no good, is it? There. The cushion. This was the hat that went wrong, and so what I've done is I've stuffed it with toy stuffing, and on the other side I've just put some material. So one rather squishy, rather cuddly, very soft cushion. Yeah, just about head size. Yeah, it'll do nicely, thank you very much. So that's number one. Then of course I couldn't just buy a sewing machine just for that, so I decided to run up a couple of bags like this. With just an elasticated cord. There we go. So there's one and number 2, just to prove I did do 2 next to each other. 2. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm actually going to, now I've worked out how to do this the right way around, I'm going to put some tags on so that the people at the care home that I work can actually stick these on the side of their wheelchairs, and then they've got a pouch to put things like their tissues and that sort of thing in. And what we'll do is we'll sell them in aid of the care home at the Christmas fair. And the material is all pieces from an old pattern book that I was given years and years and years ago. But as I think you can see, the colours aren't bad. I do like that red. I love that red. So that's that one. Next thing, I decided after the failed hat I needed to get back on the hat hobby horse, so to speak. So I've made, out of one of my gobstopper yarn balls, a lovely warm woolly hat. What do you think? Yeah, it doesn't suit me, but it's okay. And to go with it, because there was enough yarn, I've made a cowl. Rather a long cowl actually. There we go. So it's a 2-piece set. What do you think of that? Yeah, it looks like finger knitting, but it wasn't. It's just because when I've dropped the stitches as part of the pattern, it's huge. Let's double it up and you can still see it's quadruple it up, and that's the right pin. So that's that one. And as I'm off to a craft fair on next Sunday, means that I can get on and sell that there, hopefully. Right, so the thing that I've been doing most of all, she says, no, don't get caught up. You may remember from last week I was doing the Winter Wonder shawl by Helen Stewart. So this was part of the Curious Handmade Christmas, like an advent calendar, and each week you get a new pattern or something. I'm not sure whether they're all going to be patterns or what. So last week I'd done a few rows of this. This week, as you can see, there's a fair bit more of the old stocking stitch. Garter stitch, what am I on about? And then last night I joined in this ball of yarn. This is Rowan's Kid Silk Haze. It's in that colourway, so I think this is slightly glittery. I don't know if you can see that, can't you? It's really nice. So I'm going to have that as the lacy part of this shawl. So hopefully I'll have that done by next week, she says. Maybe, maybe not. So that's what I've been up to. Oh, I've made Graham's socks a little bit more, but I won't get those out because they are supposed to be a surprise, and I don't know if Rachel or he watched the podcast, so I won't actually show it on here just yet. Maybe I'll take a picture and just show them just after Christmas, we'll see. It's cold tea. It should have been hot tea, but that was an hour ago, so oh well, never mind. So the second instalment of that package has arrived now. So I've had the Winter Wonder shawl. This next one she's called a snood, but it's a very large, quite a chunky cowl. It looks lovely, so I'm looking forward to making that, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that just yet. I might just put that on the back burner and make that after Christmas, I'm not sure yet. What else have I been doing? No, they've not got any leather at all. Oh yeah. Quite a while ago, has that gone dark on me? I wanted to make some baby things, and you'd think I'd have enough baby patterns by now, wouldn't you? But no, I didn't. So I went and bought this one, One Skein Wonders for Babies, and it's edited by Judith Durant, and she's the editor of the best-selling One Skein Wonders series. I thought I had another one of these books, One Skein Wonders. Yeah, I have. Luxury Yarn One Skein Wonders. It's a good series. I haven't got them all, partly because one's crochet, and why would I buy a crochet book when I can't crochet? This one I really, really like, and I'll show you some of the patterns as to why I like them. I'm still on a bit of a hat kick, so I'd quite like to make that one, which is a screw top hat. I would also like to make quite a few of the blankets. Actually, they've got some really nice baby blankets here. That one and that one. That one, sorry. In fact, there are loads and loads of things, some miscellaneous things. Some really, really interesting looking, like sleep sacks, which of course when my kids were little we didn't have. But that one looks really nice. And that one is called the Full of Love sleep sack. And it's got a drawstring at the bottom and a ribbed ending, so that looks really nice. And there's a car seat friendly baby sack as well, which has got a couple of little legs, which is really sweet. But there are literally loads and loads and loads and loads of patterns in here, and some gorgeous things. Is that one? I love that. And the baby crown tee, love that one as well. So I decided that it probably was worth buying just because there were a few things. It retails at $18.95 in US money. I can't remember how much I paid for it online, but it wasn't that much. Oh, sorry, there's only the US price on there, but that's One Skein Wonders, edited by Judith Durant, and I really like that one. Lovely, and that's going to keep me occupied. And probably going to use up a lot of my single skeins of things as well, so that's quite good. Right, what can I tell you about next? Well, hopefully you'll have got the idea by now that there is a Ravelry Knatters Knits group, and thank you to all those people who have joined it just recently. There is a few people beginning to sort of stalk the boards and begin to chat. On there I started the Christmas along, where you can post all the pictures of the things that you've made for other people for Christmas. They don't have to be, ideally they should have been done this year at some point in time. They don't have to be just November, December knits, because some people plan ahead, like with one lady who's put loads in already. And there are others. So it's got to be made by you. It's got to have been done this year. And all you have to do is put a picture in each, one picture per post. So I think there's about 11 in there at the moment, and they're all from one person. So to make sure it's a fair draw and that she doesn't get all the prize because she just happens to be the only one, get your pictures of what you've made in there for other people for Christmas. Wish I could join. Now I said I was going to give you something Christmassy and sparkly. I'm still not sure. I've also found, excuse me, lifting this lot out here, this, and I'm beginning to wonder whether this is what I'm going to draw for. There's 6 and a bit skeins of Patterns Merino Deluxe DK, which is 100% Australian merino wool. They're 50-gram balls, just over 300 grams there, and the purple is that sort of a purple. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's a bit darker than that, and I think that's going to be the prize for the Christmas along. I'm sure you can make something quite nice out of that one. Just trying to think what the yardage is. I can't see it on here. Sorry, sorry about the crinkling. I know people with earbuds hate this. It's the only one I'm going to be able to put a ball out to find out what the yardage is on here, if I can. No, it doesn't seem to be a yardage on it. That is not helpful. It's colour number 7, and the die lot is 756206. So that's the prize for the Christmas salon. That back up there, out of the way. So that's that. The other thing that I'm currently drawing for is on my Facebook page when I get to 1,000 likes, and there's in excess of 800 now, so it won't be long before I'll be drawing for that one. So get along to the Knatters Knits page there and just like it and comment, and who knows, something rather nice could be coming your way. They're the drawings. You'll also find me on Instagram, although I haven't been there much this week, and I'm also on Twitter, well, everywhere really on the social media, although I haven't been stalking that as much because I've been so busy. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I'm sure there's something really major I was supposed to be telling you about this week. As you can see, it's getting darker outside, so I don't want to make this a long podcast, but I do want it to be a little bit longer than it actually is. One of the things that I get a lot of requests for this time of year are spinning classes, and I try to explain to people that I tend to teach spinning on a one-to-one basis, mainly because you get much more value for money. Also, with it being a very hands-on craft, I think it's quite a nice thing to be able to say yes for sure that this is what you've got for your money, and you can actually achieve the skill at the end of it. Because let's face it, the worst thing about going to a class is going and coming out none the wiser, or not being able to understand, or not be able to do what you've been shown. So I've had 2 or 3 inquiries fairly recently, and people seem to want to come in groups of 4 or 5, but I've only got 3 spinning wheels, guys. And I really don't want to do more than 3 at once if I can help it, because let's face it, you're paying for a class, you're paying for that tuition, and the whole point about spinning is learning to spin and being able to come away with it. I mean, the aim of my class by the end of it is that you'll be able to go out and look at a fleece, know whether it's okay or not, know what to do, how to basically prepare it, not huge details or anything like that, because we can always do that another time. Do a little bit of preparation, do some carding, do all the usual bits and pieces like taking out the vegetable matter, making sure that it is sound, making sure that and explaining what that is, doing all those sorts of things, and then learning how to spin, just a basic spinning. And then at the end of it, learning how to ply, so that when you leave the class, you actually have a decent skein of yarn. My first skein of yarn was okay. I was quite chuffed with it, especially as I'd spun in the grease. Not something I like. It just makes me, I mean, it's great for my hands, lovely and soft, but it's not something that I like to do, really. Definitely not. In fact, the more as time goes on, I'm just looking over all at my fibre stash over there. Do you want to see it? Let me just pick you up, give you a quick guided tour of the room. There we go. There's the room. That's the window. Please note I haven't moved from my chair yet. That's what I look at when you guys are watching. Keep going round. That, I'm ashamed to say, let's go all the way up and all the way down. Here's my stash. It's huge, mainly fibre. And I'll go around. And you're back with me. So that was a quick tour of my studio. Very quick tour, sorry about that. So my spinning wheel's here to the right of me. There's a space here where I can walk in, and I can also get to those cupboards that you saw before. Yeah, so I've tidied up a bit, and I've suddenly realised how much I've got that I had forgotten about. Whoops. But no, what I was saying was I've got a lot of fibre, and actually I quite like spinning with it already prepared, so buying it as roving or in plaited length, already dyed. That's what I like. I think it's quicker, easier, and I've just realised I've gone and buried the piece of spinning I'm doing at the moment. Not very clever, actually. Right, okay, excuse me. So it's now 15th of November, so we've got 4-5 weeks to Christmas, something like that. I should get Graham's socks done. I'm hoping to do a couple more things this week in preparation for the craft fair, which is over in Fleetwood next week. That's at the North Euston Hotel. It's going to be huge. There's all sorts of vendors. There's, I think, about 3 rooms full of different vendors, so that's going to be quite interesting. And oh yeah, big news. You know, I said last week I was trying to wriggle out of becoming the chairman of the Weavers, Spinners and Dyers Guild locally. Didn't manage it. I am now the chairman of Heddles and Treddles, which is based over on the Fylde. So that's a 3-year term of office, so that will keep me a bit more busy, I suspect. But it's meant that I've got more of a commitment to the guild, and I'm going to do more. We took along our different challenge items last week, and you may remember I took along my little doll, which seems to have very conveniently disappeared. It was a bit of a scary Halloween-y sort of thing, mainly because the pumpkin head looked a bit, but that was mine. There was one entry that was just absolutely amazing. It was a pirate, and it had its jackets and its underlayers, its hats and its hair, its peg leg, its parrot. Oh, it was just phenomenal. There were all sorts of different things done by different people. There was a hedgehog come sheep. That was really, really nice. No dyeing, so that was nice to see it in the raw without any embellishments. There was a whole wide variety of different things, and that was really lovely to see. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing yet. The suggestions at the moment are that we should choose a photograph or 2 out of a pile that we all take next time, and just use that as inspiration and come up with something. So that'll be interesting to do. The other thing is that we'll have to start preparing for the big event in the summer, which is the Great Eccleston Show, which I don't know whether you have a similar sort of thing in the US or in Canada or on the rest of the world, but it's a local show, because we're in a farming area where local farmers show their sheep. There's tractor pulling, there are cake baking classes. There are, when I say classes, it's not where you go to learn, it's where you enter the thing that you've made, and whether it's good or not, you put it in and hope that you're going to win it. If you can look behind, I don't know if you can see, no you can't see it now, can you? Just move that around a minute. On the notice board there, the green and the yellow and the blue behind me, about there, yeah, those things there are all prizes that I've won in the past for that show. And as a guild we sponsor several of the classes. I think it's about 14 classes we sponsor altogether. So they're for weaving, for spinning, for articles made out of weaving or spinning. And whoever gets the most points for all the classes ends up winning the cup. Well, this year was really, really funny because one of the ladies who had worked her socks off, and she was determined she was going to win this, and she had really done loads and loads and loads. And jokingly she said, you know, if anybody pips me to the post, I'm going to eat my hat, sort of thing. Jerry beat her. So that unfortunately was last year. So hopefully we'll have a bit of rivalry and competition again this year. And hopefully I'll be able to get my act together a bit more and submit something this year. I haven't for the last couple of years. I'm just been a very, very bad member and not being very committed, not being very organised, and also not really done an awful lot. So hopefully this year things will be a bit better. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's usually in the summer as well, which is really nice. We take our spinning wheels down there and we host a spinning demonstration, and there are usually other artisans in the tent too, so it's a great big marquee, huge marquee, and there are people that make baskets, people who make bee skeps, and that was the forerunner of the beehive. It's like a portable beehive where you can go and collect swarms, things like that. And actually I keep my current spinning project in one of those. It's very useful to just have next to the spinning wheel down here, and then the fibre isn't going all over the floor. Especially now I can see the floor again, it's quite a useful thing to rein in the fibre. And there are people who make furniture. Oh, there's all sorts of different artisans. Oh, there's a potter. So it's really nice that there's a whole tent full of handicrafts. So that's a great Eccleston show. It's usually in July, and I'm sure next year that I'll be telling you more about that. So that's that one. The only other thing really, I suppose, is I've been starting to think about Christmas. For the first time ever, we've got family coming to stay with us, which is quite amazing in 31 years that I've got away without it. So I'm looking forward to that. But I need to think about what I'm going to get people for Christmas. I know my brother probably would like another hat, because he does like hats, especially beanies, because when he's driving his lorry long distances up and down the UK, I think he quite likes those. My dad, I'm not so sure. What do you get a 70-year-old man, 70 plus, who's got everything? Difficult one, isn't it? My son wants work clothes, which is a bit boring, so I'm going to try and think of something new. My daughter has given me a list of things that she wants, but ow, no, can't afford those. But she does say it's a wish list, and you know, she'll have to keep wishing really, won't she? My husband doesn't really say what he wants. I hate Christmas from that point of view. I love it because it's a time when family get together and it's quieter, and as you've probably gathered, I do like the quiet life. But I don't know, I really find it hard trying to work out what to get people for Christmas. And also, I think because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, I'm not that keen about giving people knitted items because I'm never sure whether they're good enough. You know, the items that I've made, whether they're good enough for people to have or not. Perhaps I should just get over it and just give them things that I've knitted and see what they say. So that's Christmas. What I'm going to be doing for the next few weeks, well, as I said, I've got the craft fair next week on the Sunday, so I may record on the Saturday, or I might even leave it till the Monday. So sorry guys if it's not at the usual timing, but that'll be why. Because usually I'm so shattered at the end of one of those that it's not going to happen. If I do it afterwards, straight after, it's definitely not going to happen on the day. We'll see. I suppose one of the main worries I have is that whether I'm going to have enough stuff to show you. And that in a way is why I like podcasting, because it makes me push on and makes me do things that perhaps, you know, usually if I'd not got, it's not a deadline as such, but if I haven't got something to show you, I think, oh, there's no point in podcasting. And one thing that really irritates me is podcasts when I'm watching them that disappear for weeks on end with no explanation. So I'm trying very hard to keep up to doing that on a regular basis. I'm just trying to think now, what else have I got to show you? What else have I got to do? No, I'm sorry, it's definitely addled brain from just being exhausted, and I know full well it's nearly 4:30 in the afternoon. As you can see, it's getting quite dark out there now, and I still have tea to make. I've got washing to put away, all the usual general chores, and it's back to work again. It's Monday morning tomorrow, and the boss is on holiday, so it's going to be a challenging week. So I think that's probably all I'm going to say for this week. I haven't done any designing this week, just haven't had time. I even did my shopping online. It's been one of those crazy weeks. So hopefully I'll have more for you next time. I hope you've had a great week. Do please come along and chat to me either on Facebook or on the Ravelry pages, or Instagram, anywhere really. I'd love to chat to you. I've started to chat to a few of you and I'm really enjoying it, so it'd be lovely if you could invite your friends. The more the merrier really. And who knows, you may be finding that there's something winging its way to you very soon. Well, it's now half an hour. I think I've waffled on for long enough. Hope you have a great week. I know that I'm going to have an interesting one, and I shall see you next time, and I'll tell you all about it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.